What's up, everybody? We are better than ever, and welcome back to Retro Reels. Me, your host, Steven. That is Joel, and Cash is over there. So, on Retro Reel, with every episode, we go back, watch cartoons from the 90s, early 2000s, you know the spiel by now.
Yeah.
And we ask ourselves, does it hold up? And we give it a rating, 1 to 10, 0 to 10 technically. We haven't gotten there yet. I don't think we'll get there with this one. Because today, Joel, we watched a very interesting one that kind of shocked us. What did we watch?
Invader Zim.
Invader Zim. A weird one.
Very weird.
Feel like it did not belong on Nickelodeon.
No.
Also, the first show we watched that got canceled. Got canceled like early through the second season.
Mm-hmm.
It was supposed to be 40 episodes. It was 20 episodes the first season. They only got to 7 episodes before they pulled the plug. But let's start out with the show itself. Let's start out with the intro.
The intro is phenomenal.
Great. There's no words being sung. It's just its own tune being played out, and then again a little quick like recap of like the premise, how he's being sent to Earth from the other aliens, the Urkins. It was a nice combination of just drawn cartoons and CGI.
A little bit of 3D sprinkled in here and there.
Yeah, there's little stuff like here and there where it gave it a little flair. The intro was a lot better than I remember.
Yeah.
I pleasantly surprised with that already. But my episode was called The Walk of Doom. It is a very simple premise where Zim builds a new guidance system for Gur, and so they have to go test it out by getting lost in the city and trying to find their way home. So this is a very Gur-heavy episode, which I remember being a highlight of the show, and I think this definitely cements that idea, how Gur is just hysterical.
Yes. Highlight of the whole show.
Right? Much funnier than I remember. Again, it's also weird because he's in like that. I always forget he's just kind of like a regular robot. He's like blue and gray, but he's always in that dog costume. For some reason, it's green, which doesn't make any sense.
Because he's green. He's like, all right, this is how things are.
Green is normal. Yeah, what's that too? Like Zim, like his normal outfit when he goes to school, is just like regular eyes because he normally has like pink eyes, and like this crazy black like pompadour.
No nose.
No nose. That's fine. He's just a weird looking kid. That's all. We all know some. Like, it was very weird. And then this one, like, again, he's walking in the city, so he's in another costume. He's in just like a beard and like a weird like sun hat, walking around this dog, getting lost in the city.
Yeah. The premise of the episode is funny because it's so mundane.
Yes.
Like, it's completely like, okay, I'm going to upgrade his system here.
Yeah.
We're going to go to the middle of the city, and Gur's going to get us home.
Yeah.
And then you start to have the issues with Gur as a character, that he's a moron. Gur is all about the simple pleasures of life, like we all are. So he goes, okay, Gur, turn on your tracking system, or whatever it was, the guidance system.
Yeah.
And Gur goes, oh, well, I don't have that. I left it home. And he's like, what? He's like, I made to make room for the cupcake.
Yeah, the cupcake falls out and he just eats it. What?
And then he starts to yell at Gur, and he believes that Gur is getting upset about him, like, yelling at him.
Yeah, he starts crying.
But Gur's only crying because he's like, I missed the cupcake.
Which is just so ridiculous. Like, the show was just so absurd, so obscene. Like, they definitely try to go into like a creepy vibe to it as well.
Yeah.
Make everybody, like all the characters look disgusting and gross. And then you have this character Gur who just says the most like ridiculous random shit, and it's hilarious.
Yeah. Like, he had some very big highlights of the episode between that. I mean, them dancing in the freaking park, like trying to gain money.
Yes, yeah.
And then we fast forward a little bit to them running through the bank, and Gur's trying to fly them out of there with his little jetpack feet. And they land, and he goes, Gur, why? Why did you run out of fuel so quickly? He goes, and gotta make room for the tuna. He shoves his own foot in his mouth and pummels tuna into his face. Like, it was so shocking. Like I was so confused that I had to bust out. I was rolling on the couch.
Bro, it was so funny. It was so ridiculous because it was so, again, it's so random. But that's what made it so funny. I don't think this should have been on Nickelodeon.
No, maybe like Adult Swim.
I think this would have thrived on like an Adult Swim.
It probably would have had way more than 2 seasons.
It probably would have got canceled, that's for sure. But I know now why it has such a big cult following
Mhm.
because it is so absurd. It's so funny. Again, they try to make the show look disgusting and creepy, and they try to make it unappealing. But
Well, yeah,
now
because it's from Zim's eyes. That's
yeah,
how he sees people.
that makes sense. He sees people as just drooling idiots or whatever. And then now as a kid, like I knew the show was weird. I didn't think it was be this weird, but I kind of like it a little more for that reason.
I think I like it more now than I did as a kid.
Oh, absolutely. This holds up extremely well.
Yeah.
So my episode was hilarious.
Hilarious.
So much better than I remember.
The highlight of that whole episode is the last scene of that episode.
Yes.
Because I've been humming it ever since.
Yes.
Right at the end of the episode, Zim tells the taxi driver to take him home. But I think it's like an illegal alien reference because it looks like he drives him to Mexico.
I think he points, that way. So he just drives him south.
Yeah.
Far enough down to go down to Mexico.
And then he puts him in front of this little like meat stand.
Yeah.
And then you just see this Spanish dude with a rose in his mouth. And then the song in the background, I've been humming ever since. It just goes.
It's so stupid.
And he's just dancing with the rose. I've been humming that ever since.
It's so ridiculous, but again, hysterical. Could
So
not
good.
stop laughing the whole episode. Oh my god, I was again rolling. It was so funny.
And then we have the second episode of the day,
Yes.
which was episode 4, the first half of it.
Yeah.
Germs.
Yep.
I remember Germs as a kid because of, I think it's because of the constant screaming of Zim.
Yeah.
Every time he puts the goggles on, he throws the goggles on, and he starts screaming. But the premise of the episode's real simple, right? He sees like this movie.
It was like a show or something. Yeah.
It's like a parody on War of the Worlds, I believe.
Yes. Yeah.
But basically, like the alien invaders in the movie are simply cut down by germs.
Yes.
Like they start sneezing on them, and then the aliens just explode.
Yeah.
So then Zim goes into his like database, his alien database, and he starts seeing like, oh, like you should be mindful of simple germs because germs can kill you essentially. And he gets like these trial goggles, and watching the trial goggles, he looks into his own like basement and starts seeing the green piles of germs everywhere.
It's funny. They're just like green, like piles like crawling around. All like they're constantly moving, and it does look gross. I'm not gonna lie. Like as a kid, I probably think, oh, that's disgusting. Like I don't want to see that. Like
Yeah.
But he goes completely like almost like a hypochondriac where he's just spraying every surface down. He goes crazy, cleans every single surface until it's shiny, and he has goggles on. He sees everything's clean, and then Gur walks in the house.
Well, prior to that, the part that we both were hysterical at, he finally gets the house perfectly clean, and there's one germ left.
That's right. Oh my god.
And he sees it, and he goes to the germ and he sprays it, and the germ is slowly dying. It's like, no.
Zim is just blank face, just
Ends up spraying this one germ like 4 times.
Oh my god, it's hysterical because it was just so like dragged
It
out.
was so dramatic.
Yeah, and it was so dramatic. This one germ just screaming, dying in agony. It was just like so ridiculous.
But then, like you said, right after that, we have the intro of Gur into the episode holding this pig, and the pig obviously is full of germs because pigs are disgusting.
Sure.
Great food, but disgusting. And he basically just dirtifies the house.
Yeah. And then
you see like it just pour out from him.
Yeah, so again, Gerd comes in. He through the goggles, Zim can see he's covered in germs. Germs are already spreading. And then just again, Gerd is being Gerd. Goes, all right, I'm gonna go roll around on the floor for a bit. And he starts just rolling around.
Yeah.
Again, it just almost like Courage Cowardly Dog, which we watch. You can watch, down below.
Title cards.
Yeah, somewhere around here. You can tell like it's so funny because how over the top it is.
Mm-hmm. Like it's just it's out there.
Yeah, it's out there. It's disgusting. It's makes no sense at all, but you can't look away, and so it makes it just so funny.
Yeah, but then for me, the second half of that episode takes a dip.
It does take a dip.
It's not as funny as the rest of it. The second half of the episode, he's trying to figure out, okay, we need to go into the store to like get more cleaning supplies, And while they're on the way to the store, Gurr pulls him towards a McMeaties,
yeah.
Which is, I guess, a play on McDonald's.
Yeah.
And the highlight of that section, part of the episode, is the counter guy, the waiter, I guess. He just goes, space meat, over and over again, space meat.
Yeah, explaining the theory that, like, oh, yeah, like, our meat is germ-free because it was tested space meat, blah, blah, blah. It was over the top. But then, like, Zim, you can see germs around this whole entire restaurant.
Except for the burger.
And the baby is just one giant germ. It's just so stupid.
Yeah.
Which is hysterical in the same way. Yeah, that part of it definitely took a dip. Definitely took away from the rest of the episode, I think. But still, majority of the time, like, we were still laughing.
Yeah, I definitely had a good time watching this show.
Yeah.
The first episode, I can truthfully say I was over the moon about it. I was just in shock how much I liked it.
Yeah.
The second episode, I was pleasantly surprised.
Yeah.
The second episode was still better than I thought it was gonna be, but not as it didn't match up to the first one. We'll just say that.
No, it didn't. But it was still not far behind.
Yeah.
I always like commenting on, like, the art style again.
Oh, the art style definitely holds up.
It's bright, colorful, bold lines. I always say this: bold will hold.
Just like ink.
And they got a little mix of CGI every now and then. Definitely, like, kind of adds a little flair to it, but doesn't take away from anything. Like, we also last episode we saw Jimmy Neutron. When that CGI does not hold up well, and then those came out around the same time. I think the same year.
Literally the same year.
Yeah, like same year after, whatever it was. Big difference there.
Huge difference.
Very, very weird to see. But I think because they didn't rely too much on it, they were able to sprinkle it in and add a little sauce to it without taking away from the show. So I think that regard also holds up well. There's some characters like we also did not see, like some characters in the intro, like the one kid who's like a paranormal hunter, whatever he may be. We didn't see him in any of these episodes, but I know he's also like a big part of the show.
Or the little goth girl or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. And this is also one of those shows that it was canceled, had a big cult following. I remember seeing the merch around like Hot Topic a lot.
Bro,
at the time.
Everyone had Gurr stuff. Everyone had Gurr stuff.
It was, again, of that time, like early 2000s, where like, it's not like Hot Topic is now, where it's all anime and fucking Funko Pops or whatever. But back then, like, it really was like this kind of weird stuff that you would currently find anywhere else. You know? And like, again, weird to think that the show was on Nickelodeon. It could have had a bigger space to shine on like an Adult Swim, like we said earlier. Just given like a different platform, it would have had like kind of the audience it was looking for. This was way too dark and obscene for a Nickelodeon.
Yeah, it didn't have the right audience. Like, even if you look at it, it says TV Y7. Like, that's super young. Yeah, there's no way this is for that.
I don't know if I would show this to my kids.
There's no way I would show it to my kids. I might show this to like a teenage son of mine.
I might watch this like at home. Like, this is great.
But in that regard, typically you start with me.
Yes.
But I'm gonna actually flip it on you and say, does it hold up?
To answer the question, yes.
Okay.
It holds up much better than I anticipated. It's gonna be high. Again, because this is, I think nowadays, my sense of humor, and like there's no denying we were laughing hysterically. I'm gonna give it a weird number. I'm gonna give it 7.9.
Okay.
I'm gonna give it high because I generally want to go back and watch it all. I know it's short. I know there's also a movie, I believe. Like I
want to watch the movie.
Definitely want to check that out now. I was again very surprised, shocked a little bit, but I think it deserves. I think 7.9 seems about right. Seems about fair.
So I'm gonna say this is the first time in our retro reel history. Yeah. My rating's higher than yours.
Whoa! Oh shit!
So after the first episode, I was really high on it. Like I was in a territory that I didn't anticipate being in. I was not 9 worthy, but damn near.
Yeah, really.
Like my first after watching the first episode, I was legit like, okay, this is 8.7. Wow. It was the first thought that came to my mind. Yeah. My episode brought it down a little bit. Germs wasn't as strong of an episode. I think Germs is probably more like what the show's really about. Yeah. I think I don't want to say I got lucky with like the episode I picked, but it also shows you that there are some high highs in the series. Yeah, like if it had more room to run, I think it would have probably leveled out in that higher echelon. Sure. But I think after watching Germs and having it kind of brought down to earth a little bit, I'm gonna go 8-3.
Wow.
8-3 seems logical to me
Yeah.
at that point because I'm telling you, I laughed so hard at the first one.
You were legitimately like on your side, like hysterical.
I just thought it was so out there. It was just not what I anticipated. I remember it being a little like out there with its humor, but not like this.
No, it's different compared to what we watched. The only thing we could compare it to was Courage Cowardly Dog, because again, like it's the same kind of vein where they just try to go completely out of left field with some of the jokes and the humor, in the settings, the characters, like very very eerie, creepy. But this was no dying. This was hysterical. Yeah,
it was just good.
It holds up. It holds up very well. Again, we mentioned this earlier. Much funnier now as an adult than as a kid. I love this.
Yeah, it was genuinely very good. Like, I don't want to beat the dead horse and continue to say it was really good. I think the fact of the matter is we were just shocked.
Yeah, that's what it is too. It's a shock of it. I went into this thinking like, all right, this might be middle of the road for us, like kind of dead center maybe. But I did not expect it to be as high as
this is firmly our number 2. We have Hey Arnold, Invader Zim, which I would have never anticipated.
Not at all.
And then we have kind of the rest of the pack,
which is still great shows.
Yeah,
but I did not see this taking the number 2 spot. Not at all.
And I think it's going to hold the number 2 spot for a little bit.
Yeah, I think so as well. This was right up our alley.
Because with Hey Arnold, we kind of found a show that we knew we were going to like. We walked into it high and we walked out of it high.
Yeah.
This one shocked us. I think it might have done better if we knew better at first.
Oh.
Because I do think that maybe like we picked the Walk of Doom. If I pick a better episode than Germs, I think this stays high.
Might have been higher. Yeah, even if Germs is like one of the lower episodes, it's still a nice balance.
Yeah,
I'm perfectly fine with that rating.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you have the other shows we saw like that were very much middle of the road to me.
We went into a lot of those shows with high expectations,
like rose-colored glasses,
especially like Rocket Power, which is down there now, which I did not expect it to be that low.
Yeah,
but
anyway,
that's the whole point of the show, right?
If you want to get the rest of those ratings, you're gonna have to continue to watch the show. We can only discuss it so much at the end of these episodes. But I will say this, just to kind of wrap it with a bow, right? Like, comment, subscribe. Let us know the next show we should watch. We kind of do these in batches, but if you give us a couple shows, we'll rattle through them and get them right to you ASAP. We promise.
It's up to you.
But on that note, I'm Joel. That's Steve. Cash is currently licking his feet somewhere underneath us. And this was Retro Real. Peace.